is today? If we could put this up over here. What is today? The best day ever. As a student of success technology for 22 years, I was sent to a summer camp when I was 14 years old against my wishes by my mom. And it was a training for success, learning technology, and really how to improve every aspect of your life. And it led me over a 22-year period to arrive at an astonishing conclusion. And that is, it's all about today. If you have $1 million, you're miserable, you're not feeling good today. Today is the best day ever. Is it possible to feel good all the time? Yes. Is it possible that today could be the best day ever and then tomorrow could be better? Absolutely. We are now in a place where our technology of success, our technology of nutrition has reached astonishing heights. And that's why we're at this event. Because on the internet, there's a lot of material. Filtering through that material, it's a lot of work. You come here because Harv and his assistants and crew and people like Mark Victor Hansen, what an incredible presentation. Barbara DeAngelis, incredible presentation. And all the rest of our, Buzz Aldrin, everybody else behind, have filtered out a bunch of information for you, and they're just giving you the real juice. Do you remember juice? And Barbara asked us, how do we get more juicy? And here's the answer, with the right kind of food. Okay? Doesn't that make sense? It is an honor to be here. It's a dream for many years to be on the stage and share the stage with Mark Victor Hansen and Brian Tracy. It is a dream to share the stage with Jack Canfield. And what we're going to do here in the next 20 minutes is give you that juice, that little bit you can take home. I have done about 1,300 lectures all over the world about nutrition. And here's what I found out. I found out that I would give this lecture, I would talk about celery, parsley, cabbage, cucumbers, goji berries, cacao beans, chocolate, etc. And people would take one or two things home with them. They wouldn't take the whole package. They'd just go, okay, I can remember this, I can remember that. So I'm just going to spend my time focusing on the big guns. Now, what those are, I'm going to save that for you, but momentarily I want to say this. Harv brought me into extreme health, and Harv Ecker's amazing. Let's give a round of applause for T.Harv Ecker and his staff, including Gail Kingsbury, who has put me on the stage right now. Thank you. Here's the technology. The technology is at a point where it's actually impossible to become sick ever, get a common cold under any amount of duress, stress, airline flights, all-nighters. I've lived that truth. That's what we're going to share at the next Extreme Health. That we're going to get into and crack every aspect of living food nutrition, raw food nutrition, superfood nutrition, herbal nutrition, and chocolate nutrition at Extreme Health next time. Harv was like, hey, don't give away the whole pie right now. We can only cover a little bit. That's the commercial to get you through, right? We've got to get to the end of we got to get to the next thing, which is going to be our big Extreme Health events, 2 of them next year, and we're going to cover all that stuff. But today, we're just going to add a few good things. One thing I've learned, which is everything in nutrition, and that is the diet game is a losing game. Amen. Why? Because as soon as you say no, the little child in the back of the mind says, as soon as you say, you can't have it, yes, you can. What works? What have we learned that works over the years? And the approach and the strategy is adding things in. Adding things in. Trying new things. What do people want? They want novelty. They want flavor. They want to get their vitamins and minerals from their food. Imagine a giant factory between you and Extreme Health. Does that make sense? No, we don't want a factory between us and health. We want the earth, the food, and us. And this is the message that I bring here. And that message is connecting my 22 years of experience in the success technology field to the final goal where we're all heading. And that goal, the goal that Brian Tracy is bringing us to, the goal that T.Harv Ecker is bringing us to, the goal that Mark Victor Hansen is bringing us to, the goal that Jack Canfield is bringing us to, the goal that Barbara DeAngelis is bringing us to, is a goal of paradise on earth. And what day does it begin on? Today is best day ever. I've been in the nutrition world about 17 years. And it's been an incredible journey. I was allergic to dairy products. That's how I got started. I started reading about it. I was in school. It was a hobby. Eventually, if you really love your hobby, it will become your vocation. It will become your career. And in that process of learning, I started a little business out of the trunk of my car. No money, nothing. Even my best friend said, I ain't putting up the money. You pay it. You get the books. You sell it. So I said, okay, I'll do it. So I bought 10 raw food books on living food nutrition. People say, what's this thing about raw food? It's easier to sneak up on lettuce than it is a rabbit. That's it. We got to go all the way back to the basics, right back. And what's the basic truth? The basic truth is we weren't born attached to a stove, with shoes, with clothes, with daggers, with knives, with guns. We were born natural creature on the earth. How do we get our food? Well, part of it's got to come from the earth as it is. And here's the real secret. Have you ever gone to like a store and you're reading some book? And you read the book, and then, you're like, yeah, it's pretty good. Yeah, okay, I could probably, protein, omega-3 fatty acids. Then you look at the picture on the dude on the back of the book, and you're like, I don't want to look like that. Brian Tracy told us yesterday, success leaves tracks, right? The person who's the nutrition guy, who's the fitness guy, whatever, they better look the part. They better be like radiant. They better walk their talk. And I'll tell you one more thing. They better be sexy. Who wants to be more sexy in this audience? Who believes that their food might actually cause them to become more sexy? Juiciness. If you want to be juicy, you got to drink juice. Liquids. Living food, raw food has the water in it. It's the juice. And we've learned over the years, if we can get and work as a goal towards achieving 80% of our diet as raw and living foods, we've really done something. Here's what I've learned in goal setting over the years. 22 years of goal setting. Here's what I found out. My goal is I eat the best food ever. I turn it all over the universe. I no longer say, on January 1st, 2008, I will eat great food and meals and I will have everything in balance. No, I just turn it over all of the universe. I eat the best food ever. I drink the best water ever. I drink the best beverages ever. I'm the healthiest person ever to live on earth. Those are my written goals. And the reason why I say that is because this is about opening up the possibility of the mind. If we're not the healthiest person ever to live on earth, we can write it down and suddenly that becomes possible. This is about possibility. Can we be healthy all the days of our lives, live to be 100, totally excited and experience today as the Is that the best ever or the best ever by far? Which one? Awesome. Here we go. I started my business in the back of my trunk of my car, Sun Food Nutrition. Why? Because it's all about the sun, the food, the earth, the whole deal. And it's a green business. Our building here, this is a building that's in San Diego, California. It's built from the ground up, green eco. We are an eco business. I'm here to tell you that because I got a bill sitting on my desk for $70,000 for corn doors, organic paint, organic natural furniture. Now, you know how much for $70,000, I could probably hire 2 full-time employees and they would be knocking it out for me. But instead of doing that, we pay that much extra to get it done right. So we do that, and we do that because not only am I here to talk about nutrition and my deal, but I'm also here to inspire business owners in this audience to get on with the green movement and to spend the money where it counts and what's important. The mechanics of it. We have a person in our organization who is a designated eco czar. We have an environmental czar in our organization, and she overlooks everything, and we can get the eco paper, we get it. We get the eco paint, we get it. We get the eco furniture, we get it. That's for you. That's for you, because who's going to do it? Remember A Course in Miracles? The salvation of the world depends on me. Are politics going to do it? Remember what Brian said? In the overall mix of different superfoods, things that we can eat, what's happened is we have arrived at two of the world's most powerful foods. And that is where we're going to start. By the way, in the Sun Food Diet, this is my book. This has really been the quintessential launching point for my career. This book has taken me around the world for 8 years. And if you haven't read it, I think it's the book that really knits something together very important. And that is success technology with nutrition. Because you can think all the great thoughts you want, but I suspect strongly, based on the evidence and experience, that you are what you eat is more powerful. You are a work of art in progress. That is art. That is food we picked in the driest, most hot Arizona desert last week, and that is art. And when you eat art, you become art. As the heir to all the ages and the foremost ranks of all time, you stand today as the quintessential sum of all the dreams and aspirations of all of your ancestors, your father, your mother, your grandmother, your grandfather, your great-great-great-great-great-great-grandfather. Their dreams are now your dreams. Their hopes are now your hopes. Their desire that you could eat the best food ever is now possible for you. Everything is possible. In the age of information, all knowledge becomes available, and that's what we have now. That's where we are. That fruit I just showed you is the fruit of that tree. You ever seen those trees going into Phoenix or Tucson? Anybody ever seen that? That fruit comes off that tree, and that is one of the best fruits in the world. And I tell you this because that fruit that is in that bucket right there is abundant. There are millions of them out in that desert right now. There is no food shortage in this world. There is no food shortage in this world. There's only a shortage of awareness. There's only a shortage of awareness. We were out in that desert pulling down more food you can even believe. Food that will last us an entire year. The saguaro cactus. I was in Peru recently. Wasn't that amazing? Mark Victor Hansen came up here. He said he was in Peru. This is incredible. I'm getting on the train to go to Machu Picchu. Right in front of me is a woman, incredible woman, Lydia. She makes these organic crackers and sells them in health food stores. We're standing face to face. I'm like, that's Lydia. This woman, she deals with all the expos, the festivals, and her workforce, it's basically hippies who would rather be smoking pot than working. So she's had to crack the whip on them, and you see, the stress and the whole ordeal of organizing those kind of people. Anyway, you see in her hands how much food she's made, the intensity, 14-hour days, because of the love. Because of the love. When we're dealing with the love in the food, you've got to be able to discern where it is and where it's not. Why don't I eat junk food or fast food? I'll tell you, my personal reason now is because there is no love left in the food. And why do I do what I do? Because it's time to get the love back into the food. And Lydia does that. That's her deal. And for the people, low prices. $5 meals, I pay $20 for that meal. I'm standing face to face with her. I'm like, Lydia. So we end up having this great conversation. She's with her group. I'm with my group. We're on our way to Machu Picchu. When we get out of the bus, she says, or get out of the train, she says, hey, I'm going with my group this way. I'll meet you up at the top. I said, hey, I'll meet you up at the top. We do the whole thing, all running around Machu Picchu. You could see how incredible it is. How many people here have been to Machu Picchu? How many people want to go to Machu Picchu? How many people here brush their teeth? Anyway, how many people won't raise their hand no matter what I say? We're running around that place having literally the best time ever. We brought a group of 30 people with us, fed them raw and living foods the entire 9 days we were there. We get to Machu Picchu. We're doing this whole routine, 487 steps up and down that Mark Victor Hansen was talking about. End of the day, I had not seen Lydia. There is an orchid in front of me, the most gorgeous orchid you'd ever seen. And I thought, I got to pick that for Lydia. My friend Mary is saying, hey, if you pick that, you're going to have to put it in water. My male brain is going, I'm at the top of Machu Picchu. There's no vase of water up here. She says, no, your bottle of water. Male thinking. I open up the bottle, put the orchid in there, most gorgeous thing you've ever seen. And it's because I love her. I appreciate the service that she has given. And really to just give love with no agenda is really powerful. It's a powerful experience, and I thought I got to give that to her. So anyway, we go through the whole day. People are clearing out of the park. It's 4:30, 5 in the afternoon. Suddenly, the clouds part. Sharp rainbows come in, triple rainbow over Machu Picchu. The most incredible color. There was a llama down there, and we were so up high that you could see the rainbow almost in a complete circle. And I could see the rainbow over a white, and the llama turned purple. And one of the guys in my group said, hey, this is the best ever. And I said, you want it to get better? Let's get up to the very top. So we go up to the very top where that sundial thing is. And up coming the other side is Lydia with her group. And there at the very top of Machu Picchu under a triple rainbow, I handed her the orchid. It's a sign. It was a sign. Because in my world, I'm the dominant male figure in the raw living foods, superfoods, chocolate, herbal world. And she is the female figure. And there we are by random chance at the top of Machu Picchu. I'll show you the picture. There she is. What an incredible place. It's never been better than it is right now. This is the greatest time ever to be alive in human history. We have more information, more choices, more possibility, more ability to get at the greatest knowledge, foods than ever before. We have it now. And we not only get that, but we can travel the world and do it at the same time. I travel almost as much as anyone on earth. I'm going to tell you how I do it by 2 little foods that we're going to add in here today. Can we add a food into our diet? Is there anybody here who wants to take a food away from their diet? Yeah, but there's all this guilt, fear, and shame about food. How about getting into total alignment, eating whatever you want without guilt, fear, and shame? My biggest success in my life, the biggest thing I ever achieved in my whole life is this. I can eat what I want, when I want, how I want, with whom I want, without guilt, fear, or shame. That's where we're going. That's where the diet world's going. Isn't that good? This book brought in a knowledge and an information piece that's really important. This is my book, Naked Chocolate. And it brought an awareness about the astonishing truth about the world's greatest food, chocolate. I got into chocolate when I was a kid. I had no idea where it came from, how it was made, how it was processed. I saw videos of machines. And I was to discover that this food is actually the most widely eaten nut, like an almond. Basically, it's the most widely eaten nut in the world, but nobody eats it. What do they eat? Something that's been processed through the roaring jaws of factories. Sugar. Dare I say, well, a lack of love. Processed without the heart. There's no food in the world that's more associated with the heart than chocolate. And we got to the final truth about it. We got to the bottom of it. And the bottom of it is chocolate is a nut. And it's called cacao. You ever seen this word? Who's with me out there? Are we having the best day ever? You ever seen this word? That's the nut, except they misspelled it. The British didn't know what they were doing. The real word is cacao. That food has a lot of surprises in store. We're going to talk about that. This food, it turns out, can be eaten raw in its natural state, just like an almond. Imagine your whole life you never had an almond. All you had was almond powder. Or almond oil. That's all you ever got. Now we get to the real truth, the basics. Cacao is a nut, and it's the most powerful nut in the world, and it's very likely the most powerful food in the world. And this is the food that I have come to live on over the years. To live on chocolate. You know what cacao is? Cacao is an almond with good looks and money. As long as we have a choice, we might as well have the best ever. If we can eat chocolate without guilt, without the sugar, let's have at it. I've been doing it every day for about 4 or 5 years. I live on chocolate. I stand before you as a product of my product. I'm not just in it to say one thing and do another. You've seen that before. You can tell when you look on the back of those books at those guys' pictures. You know what I'm saying? You look at the picture and go, man, what's that dude doing? Product of the product. Proper nutrition is an art. And everything you eat is a brushstroke on the painting of your life. And if we're going to paint ourselves with something, let's get into the goo and throw chocolate on the walls and have a good time while we're doing it. People who eat chocolate live a year longer than people who don't. And I'm talking about the garbage chocolate. What happens if we get on the good stuff? Check it out. Chocolate comes, it's a nut of a tree. Here's what the tree looks like. You've seen Willy Wonka. The fruit grows off the trunk of the tree. What kind of fruit grows off a trunk of a tree? And if you look at the shape of the chocolate fruit, it looks like a heart. It looks like a human heart. Does everyone see that? Check it out. Inside, and by the way, chocolate comes in all different colors. The fruit does, and it's never out of season. It's always appropriate. It's the only fruit in the world other than noni that is never out of season. Here's what it looks like split open. Inside, you'll see those chocolate beans. That's the nut. That's the part that we eat that we call chocolate. And that's it when it's been taken out of the fruit and dried. Those are cacao beans. Cacao is, ready for this? The highest natural source of magnesium. Magnesium is the number one, what is it? Number one mineral deficiency. Chocolate, cacao is the number one source of chromium. The number two mineral deficiency in our culture is chromium. It is one of the best sources of iron going. I have a friend. She bled for 60 days. She was dosing herself on superfoods, mainly cacao and spirulina, and she did not become anemic. Every 4 days, she checked in with her naturopath. She bled for 60 days, and she did not become anemic. They never told me that in school. I got the 4 food groups. How about chocolate? One of the best sources of iron ever. In fact, it's difficult. I'm a nutritionist. I've been in this world for 13 years as a professional. I couldn't name another food that has more iron in it than cacao. Zinc, copper, and manganese. All those trace minerals, the key ones that you kind of hear about here and there, it's all there. Here's the biggie. How many people know about antioxidants? How many people know that chocolate is the number one antioxidant in the world by far? 20 times higher than red wine, 30 times higher than green tea, 15 times higher than blueberries, 3 times higher than acai, 5 times higher even than goji berries, which are coming up. The number one food, medicine, in North America, Central America, South America, for thousands of years was chocolate. It was the very center of the medicine wheel. In fact, let's back up. That was used as money. That was their currency. Cacao was their money. You imagine that? If there's inflation, you eat the money. Who's with me back there? Is this something we can get excited about? It's all about getting foods that activate this center right here, which is our heart chakra, our heart energy. I believe, my experience has led me to believe that in our world today, the problem is too much mind. That we're not going to solve the world's problems by blaming people, logically figuring out how we're going to balance checkbooks and debt and all that kind of stuff. That's for CFOs. Let them do that. We're going to get out of this by an open